It's time now for Stephen Jones to join you here on your home of the Cowboys, 105.3 The Fan. And a good afternoon, sir. How you doing on this Football Friday?
I'm doing great, guys. Hope you're well.
Yes, sir, we are. Hey, I thought we were done with the Odell talk, and then Jerry really got it going again this week. Is this going to happen or what?
Well, we'll see. I mean, you never know. And certainly, it's obviously been a journey, and we'll just see where we end up there. But, we're always looking for ways to improve our football team. Thought we did made a nice move in terms of getting T.Y. Hilton, especially for that wide receiver room where it's predominantly a young group of guys, and to add a veteran like T.Y. Hilton, I think it's a huge plus for this offense. I think it's big for Dak, and I think he'll be a big move for us in terms of really helping this team.
What is it that you imagine T.Y. is going to share with the group or provide on the field that you didn't have already?
Well, first of all, you're talking about a guy who's predominantly been a great player, year in and year out, consistency. He knows he's a pro. He knows how to play the game. But when you look at his game, I think he still's got the juice to take the top off. But, he's also an excellent route runner in terms of, consistency with his routes and what he can do there. But in general, if you just look at his full body of work, what he knows about this league, what he brings to the table with that young room, I think is going to be a big plus.
Stephen, can you walk us through the decision with the Tyron Smith getting some work over there at right tackle and the possibility of him and Peters sharing some work until you kind of get that position solidified?
Well, I just think you look at Tyron's career, he was predominantly a right tackle at USC. His first year with the Cowboys, he was a right tackle. And, of course, Tyron being the ultimate team guy, seeing that we had lost Steele, knowing, at the end of the day, you like to make as few moves as possible in terms of consistency and to leave Tyler out at left and keep Connor rolling, who's done a great job this year, not to have to make those moves. And yet you still have Ball and Peters and, at some point, maybe Farniok coming back. It just seemed like the right thing to do. I know Tyron, certainly had big conversations with Zach Martin, who's a huge plus in terms of being right there next to Tyron. He hadn't done it in a long time, but being able to, work with him, have those two work together, I just think is, obviously that's where the coaches are leaning, and we're certainly supported.
You made a couple other additions with Anthony Rush, the defensive tackle, with the loss of Jonathan Hankins, then Trayvon Mullen at corner as you try and add some more depth there. What do you like about those two guys?
Well, first of all, you take the big man. You lose the big man, you want to bring another big guy in. Certainly a lot of people, if they want to attack us, we see it week in and week out. They want to run the football. They don't want to have to, throw the ball with our pass rush. So, we're going to continue to see a lot of, people running the football against us, and to get another big body in there, as Dan Quinn likes to call it, another big, was important to have him here and being available maybe to help us if we need it. And then, of course, the corner is just what we look for as well. Great length. We had him in the third round when he was coming out of college, coming out of Clemson, and, obviously, you lose two corners. We started off with a lot of depth when we started the season. We kept 7 corners, certainly down to 5, and thought it was a good move for us.
So, guys, Stephen Jones with us here on 105.3 The Fan. Now, Micah Parsons was in the news this week for some comments about Jalen Hurts and the Eagles on Von Miller's podcast. Now, I don't think any of us thought Micah said anything wrong, but we had Tank on yesterday. Tank said he had a little word with Micah about maybe not talking so much out there. Well, what did you think about Micah's comments, and do you mind if your players are vocal like that?
Well, I just think, Micah's going to be Micah, and everybody has their own way about how they go about their business day in and out, day in, day out. At the same time, we've got a great leadership team, some veterans in the room like D-Law, I'm sure, who certainly like to share information and have great visits with these young guys. And, I think it's just great the way our team interacts. And, I certainly don't have any problems, with players who make comments, and especially guys like Micah who can back it up.
Yeah, that's awesome. Stephen Jones here with you on 105.3 The Fan. Okay, how do you look at it when a game goes closer than how you might have hoped or drawn it up, or what a contender should do against a one-win team? I know Jerry was super focused on the greatness of the goal line stand and the 98-yard drive and how amazing the finish was. How'd you feel after that win?
Well, I thought we started off the game great, had a great drive to get a touchdown. Certainly the defense did their job right away and stopped them. And, we had the unfortunate turnover there on special teams, and they capitalized on that. And, in between our fast start and our fast finish, there's some things we have to clean up as a football team. And, I just think I always, I just roll my eyes when people say, hey, you're supposed to roll a team in the NFL. They pay their players. They're spending to the cap. They've got great coaches. They've got great personnel group people who scout these players, and it's not like high school and college where you come up against guys that you totally have outmanned. These are great athletes we're playing against. We're going to go against another good group against the Jaguars, and we'll have our hands full. And we got to go out and play really good football. I think that was a great experience for us, making the big plays at the end to stop the Texans, and then turning around and having the big drive to win the game. I think that's a great experience for a football team.
Do you need to see that wire-to-wire dominant game to be confident, or is this just, what you get in pro football?
No, I think, you're going to have games where you do play well, start to finish. And as we move toward the end of the season, certainly that's your goal, is to be consistent throughout a football game. And certainly we weren't against the Texans, and we know that. But it's like everything. You want to clean up the penalties. You want to clean up the turnovers in terms of giving the ball away, and you want to clean it. You want to get better at taking it away, and then you want to be consistent. And certainly, as we move toward the end of the season, you want that consistency to really come together. And certainly Mike McCarthy and his coaching staff are striving for that, and I think it's a great learning experience for our football team.
Stephen, we've heard Jerry come on our station here and talk about aggressiveness with Dak when it comes to the interceptions. Just interested in your thoughts of how you see, not so much how Dak's playing, but where you are with the turnovers and then the amount of aggressiveness that you see in him as a player.
Well, we all know Dak knows it better than anybody. You can't win football games turning the football over. If you lose the turnover battle, it's pretty historic. If you lose that turnover battle, you're not going to win a lot of football games. So no one knows this better than Dak Prescott. Historically, he's been great at protecting the football, and I'm sure, it's at the top of his list. It's at the top of, anybody in the organization as we move forward. You got to protect the football. At the same time, on defense, you got to make plays on the ball. And, the other huge thing, which Mike's been stressing day in, day out, week in, week out, is you got to clean up the penalties. So you can't do that, and then you got to go play consistent. Those are all things down the home stretch as we play these last 4 games that we have to sharpen up as we go into the playoffs. If we want to have success in the playoffs, and certainly we do, you have to do those things.
Stephen, watching your All-22 and just watching the way Leighton Vander Esch has played, it looks like that to me there's not a lot of people have given him credit for how well he's played. How are things through your eyes, the coach's eyes, what you guys talk about with him every day?
Well, I just think that's it. Leighton's a prime example of a guy who just keeps getting better. He's had a great year. He had a tough week. He, had illness that he had to work through and stayed laser focused and played one of his best games of the year. So, it's just so important that we, continue to sharpen our consistency. That's what we need as a football team. We certainly feel like we've got a great roster. We've got a deep roster. We continue to look for ways to improve that with guys like T.Y. Hilton, and we'll continue to look for ways to improve it, but feel good about our team.
Big week at AT&T Stadium with the state championships going on. We got South Oak Cliff tonight, tomorrow DeSoto, Duncanville, Aledo. It was fun getting to catch up with you and John Steven out there reminiscing on Highland Park's runs when I got to visit with you out there in Oxnard. But how special is this every year? I tell everyone, hey, if you haven't gotten to go out and watch the state championship games at AT&T Stadium, it's a special, special atmosphere. Are we going to break some attendance records with all the DFW schools?
Well, that's what I've heard. I mean, there's people projecting we may have 60,000 people for some of these games. And, of course, some of the best times of my life that I can point to were watching my son, John Steven, win 2 state championships out there in front of a whole lot of people. I don't know the exact attendance, but nothing better, nothing more pure than high school football. And, you know, like I said, my son had a great experience in terms of bringing 2 home to Highland Park. And whenever these Dallas schools are in these finals, it's going to make for an exciting atmosphere out at AT&T Stadium. We're certainly honored to get to host those games. And these are games that kids never forget. A lot of these kids are going to be, young men are going to be playing in the pros. And we have them come up to us all the time and, you know, see us when we're playing the opposing team and said, hey, I played for X school, and one of the greatest times of my life was winning a state championship right here in AT&T Stadium. So it's memories that are never forgotten by these young men, and certainly we're honored to get to be a part of that.
It was so much fun, you know, following along as you guys were following John Steven throughout that entire process. That was outstanding. But, you know, since you brought up Highland Park, I've been wondering about something with Matt Stafford. Last year had the 17 interception season. This year we're making a big deal out of Dak. He's got 9 in 8 games. Is 9 in 8 still in the range of what a Super Bowl season looks like for a quarterback? Is this still at an okay level for you guys?
I don't think I'm not one to judge on that. Certainly, I know Dak strives for perfection. I know our coaching staff strives for perfection. You want to eliminate them all, but Dak does so many great things, and no one's going to work harder at perfection than Dak Prescott. So I think we're playing at a championship level as we head down the home stretch. I think this team can accomplish their goals, and we all know what those are, which is to bring a championship back to Dallas for our fans. And I got a ton of confidence in this football team. We got great leadership at our coaching staff level. We got great leadership at the team level, and just feel like we can get the job done.
Well, I'll drink to that and give them hell down there. We'll be pulling for you.
Thanks, guys.
There he goes.